Shalom. This week's Sedra is Sedra Vayigash. I'm going to quote you a line that at first impression is going to sound wonderful. I had kid after kid after kid who might say I was a father figure. This soundbite gives the impression of originating from a laudable member of society. Yet it was actually said by former Penn State assistant football coach Jerry Sandusky, a man now accused and ashamed of his pedophilia. Prosecutors have said Sandusky used gifts as a way to build a sense of trust and loyalty among the little boys that he then repeatedly abused. Sandusky clearly didn't understand the idea of what a father figure is all about. In this Dvar Torah, I'd actually like to focus on the idea of a father figure. Generally understood as an older man, often one in a position of power influence, who elicits the emotions usually reserved for a father, I'd like to suggest a different interpretation. This fresh perspective is not novel. It's based on a comment by Yosef in this week's Sedra describing his relationship with Paro. I hope this new perspective will give the viewer a drive to find their own father figure and become a father figure to others. Simply by viewing this Dvar Torah, the viewer has shown an interest in growing as a person. Advancement is the foundation of the Jewish people. The growth we write of isn't the growth of body or even of spirit. It is the growth of divine recognition. As the Rabbi wrote, a person should direct his heart and the totality of his behavior to one goal, becoming aware of God. To truly become aware of God, one must use all the tools at their disposal. The Rabbi wrote, and forgive me for quoting, "It is natural for a man's character and actions to be influenced by his friends and associates, and for him to follow the local norms of behavior. Therefore, a person should associate with the righteous and be constantly in the company of the wise, so as to learn from their deeds. Conversely, he should keep away from the wicked who walk in darkness, so as not to learn from their deeds." The Rambam goes so far as to codify this as an actual mitzvah. It is a positive command to cleave onto the wise and their disciples in order to learn from their deeds. To truly flourish as a growing Jew, our relationship with those around us must be grounded in an atmosphere of growth. At times, our friends and associates aren't enough. They don't provide enough to sustain a cocoon of growth necessary for the Jew striving for perfection. In Pirkei Avot, Yoshua ben Parchia said, "Choose a rabbi for yourself." A person needs a master to take advice from, to learn from, and most of all, to grow from. No matter how knowledgeable a person is, they need a role model and a scholar to help them advance. We gain from those more experienced than ourselves. In our Sedra, Yosef calms his brother's guilt by explaining, "Now then, it was not you that sent me here to Egypt, but God, and he has made me as a father to Paro." Yosef's description of himself as an Av, as a father to Paro, is strange. But actually, it's only strange if we cling to this notion of a father as one who elicits the emotions usually reserved for a father. But our scholars explain, Rashi and Ibn Ezra, that Yosef is describing his role as an advisor, as a protector, and most of all as a mentor to Paro. As king, even Paro understood that he needed a mentor to further advance Egyptian interests. Yosef gladly played this role. We must take a lesson from Paro and Yosef's relationship with Paro. We too must find an advisor and mentor to help us advance in our understanding of God, and I would go so far as to say to ensure that we are acting as mentors and advisors and to others, and making sure that we keep ourselves aligned with the modes of behavior that would enable us to do so. Shabbat Shalom.